morning, kids. What time is it?
So I got this office chair, this new one, and the wheels are really, because they're new, it just keeps rolling away from the desk. I have to keep pulling myself back. I have to put wheel chocks under the wheels.
Sounds like something from the Naked Gun. Just
if I just shift my body weight backward, it just slowly starts rolling away. Because I'm on a hardwood floor, so it's just.
Oh, okay.
I'm
gonna get back to you on asking about that because I'm gonna this basement here is such a mess, and I'm gonna spend some time, hopefully over the holidays, cleaning it up, and I'm gonna reward myself with that chair because I'm gonna make like this corner into like a Gary type corner. You know how he has that corner with all. Yeah. I don't have the toys he has, obviously.
No, neither do
but I could put comic book behind me or something like that. I'm gonna reward myself with that chair.
Yeah, that's a bummer because there's so many windows in this.
Right.
This used to be a 3-season porch that I made into an office, and
there's
too many windows. All my cool stuff is out of.
I know.
All my cool posters and stuff you can't see them because of the way I have to put the desk.
Yep. I'm gonna try to do it where you can see stuff in the back.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is I pack it all up and I move it down to the other end of the house where there's into a bedroom. But
yeah, but that room there is so nice, though. Jeez.
It's also cold in the winter and hot.
Oh, okay.
It's not insulated.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So anyway, boy, week 15, and we got some games tomorrow.
Yeah.
So real quick, let me just change that out as it gacks to black again for some reason. So going into this week, I am 61-34 to your 60-35. This is good.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to catch up this week because we're probably going to have a lot the same for something. I don't know.
You think so?
It seems to be a type of week as I went through them and I'm like, I'm not really. There's a couple where I wavered back and forth, but most of them I'm like, oh yeah, definitely this. And not that the NFL doesn't pull the rug out from under you. A lot of those games, I'm sure they're going to be like, no, it's not what you thought, but still, I didn't put a lot of thought into it.
Sometimes when I see weeks like this, I look at it like I do the NCAA tournament or the playoffs. There's going to be an upset in here.
No, I'm sure there is.
There's going to be one of those Chicago Bears last week games, the Saints losing, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So we'll see. It might even be this one right here.
It might be.
It very well could be this one right here.
Now that you mention it, it's like now I'm starting to think it's like, well, Buffalo had a really big,
see, that's my strategy.
Game last.
I put a little doubt in your mind, and now I can take a bigger lead.
Buffalo had a big win last week, and it's like, are they going to have a letdown, type thing? That's where we're going now with this?
That's kind of where I'm going with it, and they're mile high. It's tough to breathe up there.
Yeah.
Broncos had there you go. There was one of the games last week. The Broncos.
I know. I don't know. I have a hard time, and I know it happens all the time. I just have a hard time seeing the Bills lose after you talked about how teams should be,
playing their best,
peaking right now, and talk about that. It's like I can't find many more teams other than Buffalo and a few others that are peaking, on both sides of the ball too, defense and offense. Like their defense has really not been around until the last few weeks, and I find it hard to believe that they're going to lose to the Broncos. I know all the other things where they have to travel and a letdown maybe, but I don't know. I don't see it for them. So Bills for me.
Okay. I'm going home team. I'm taking the Broncos.
Okay.
For all the reasons you just said. I think the Bills might be flat as a pancake here.
All right.
And I do. And this could be the week the defense struggles. I don't know. I just got a vibe. I just got a feeling. The spidey sense is tingling that Denver can score.
They can. Yep.
I just
they're one of those up and down teams where they seem unbeatable. I forgot. I can't even give credit to who I heard it from. They're like the way they said it was perfectly. They're like the worst of the good teams and the best of the bad teams. Could they fall into that category?
yeah, they could. They could. So I got this feeling, and especially the way Buffalo kind of reacted to winning that game.
Like the Super Bowl, like it was their Super Bowl or something.
Not, I wouldn't go that far, but it was almost like they proved something by knocking out the bully. So
right, and it'll be like one of these things where it's like, well, we could just show up to this one.
could be.
Could be right.
I just got a vibe.
Okay.
So, second game of the day tomorrow is this one.
Okay, and it seems like a similar game, but I'm not falling for it again.
My Jedi mind trick only has so much.
No, it's just that Carolina is just like they're just they're never gonna. I don't think you're gonna see their best player McCaffrey back this year. Their defense has kind of been wearing down week to week. They're not the same defense they were early in the year. And Green Bay, as long as Devontae Adams is there, I think Rodgers will keep rolling and their offense will keep rolling. And I know we've talked about how the Green Bay defense isn't the best, but how good can you be against Carolina? I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I think the Packers win at home pretty easily, probably by 10 or more.
Yeah, I'd say around there.
I think Carolina's packing it in for the year.
I mean, they've been pretty competitive. Like even against superior teams, they've kept it, somewhat reasonable. But I'd say about 10 points or so.
Yeah. See, the advantage for me with the Broncos is the mile high too.
Yep, that's true.
The thin air gives them slight advantage a lot. What am I looking for now? This one.
Oh, okay. This was one of the ones where
here's one of these games too, where you look at the two records, right? And you say, surprisingly, one of these teams is still alive for the playoffs, and it's not the one with 5 wins; it's the one with 4.
Yeah, and this was one of the games that I kind of went back and forth on. I mean, with if San Francisco not having been ravaged so much, it would be a no-brainer for me. Now it's like I have to consider it, with all the injuries that they have. And after all that, I'm still going to go with San Francisco because I'm not getting sucked in by the Cowboys again. It's like they seem to. I know. Even though they're home, and I don't know, they seem to have found something last week against the Bengals, but I'm still going to go with San Francisco.
Okay, we have another one different. I'm going with the home team again. I'm going with the Cowboys, and it's because the 49ers are just so beat up.
Yeah, they are.
If Deebo Samuel was playing, or even Mostert was playing, I might go the other way, but they're both hurt. That doesn't leave them much at all. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I got to go Dallas at home on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. What do we got next here? We got this one was where is it?
Another different one.
No, this one's tough.
Could be. That's another one that was tough because Seattle's not necessarily a world beater just because their record shows 9-4.
Right. Yeah.
What the heck did I pick on that one?
I don't know. Remember. What did you pick?
I'll
tell you what I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I just think they're stronger all the way around. I mean, Washington does have the good defensive line. They're playing great ball. Is Alex Smith going to start? I haven't heard anything yet about that.
That's
if Alex Smith doesn't play, I don't really give them much of a chance at all. And they can't do what they did last week and score 23 points with their defense and special teams. So, sadly, I think Washington gets beat pretty soundly.
You refresh my memory because I put down their injuries, which is I don't think Gibson and
Gibson's out, right?
Are both, which is they're basically their offense. They have a great defensive line, but again, you can't count on getting two defensive TDs every week.
Right.
So if they can't move the ball offensively, and the Seahawks defense has been getting better and better, they're not going to score, and I think Seattle will score. So Seattle for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Which, if Dallas wins, then
Oh my gosh, that's right. I didn't even think of that.
this is getting crazy.
That might give the Cowboys more incentive to. Damn.
It could. Next up, we got Chicago and Minnesota. Both the season ends officially for one of these two teams. When we put forks in both of these teams in Thanksgiving time. We were clearly right.
Well, yeah, we're clearly right.
So it's one of them's going to play a little more desperate than the other, maybe. But neither of them's really got a. I mean, their odds of making the playoffs are slim to begin with, but one goes by car this Sunday.
Yeah, I was just double checking. I do have the Vikings, right? Yeah, I do have the Vikings. Yeah, so I know it's like it's weird seeing Chicago score all those points, and I don't think they're going to do it twice in a row. Especially this is in Minnesota, right? Yeah. So I'm definitely going Minnesota. Yeah,
I get the Vikings too. I think the Vikings will still be believers that they can make a run at this thing. And if they finish 9-7, they might have a shot mathematically to get in. Maybe. Chicago's done. I think they shot their wad last week. Like they're not going to score 30 points for the next 3 games combined. It's just there's no way Trubisky's going to do that again. I can't see it, especially on the road. So yeah, Minnesota.
And let's not forget, Minnesota, came within. They were very close to. They could have won that game against Tampa Bay last week. I mean, we talked about the struggles of their kicker, who lost 10 points.
10 points off. Yeah, they lost by 12, and he cost them 10 of those. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and I guess Thielen had a ball right in his hand. He almost made a great one-handed catch,
that's right.
Down. So those things happen. The whole game changes. You never know. So next up, your game, which is huge for you now because the Raiders.
They lost.
Can't believe they lost last night. I couldn't believe they lost either. When I shut it off, they were on the 3-yard line, and I went and got ready for bed. And next thing I know, the game's over. But they lost.
Yeah, their play, their play calling there in the end zone wasn't that great, and obviously they couldn't get in the end zone. They had to go for the field goal, which gave San Diego a chance. And still, there was still a good chance to stop them, but they couldn't stop them from scoring. Unbelievable. The Chargers are really I would say they're peaking, but it's too late now.
It's too late. Yeah,
they're peaking for next season,
which is what you want to do.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't think Anthony Lynn's going to be there to reap the benefits.
Right. He's somebody you want to root for, but he's got too many issues.
Yeah,
clock management issues and not decisive, and So for this game, I could easily see, and I know Belichick's been doing this year. I could easily see him coming up with a scheme to rattle, Tua, because he's been doing this to, he did it to Herbert. Speaking of San Diego, he did it to Herbert. When it's a rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, he's able to come up with the scheme. But I just can't see them scoring on offense. I mean, maybe this will be one where their defense scores 2 touchdowns. Who knows? But I can't see them. I don't know. Their offense is just atrocious, especially after that last game against the Rams. Jeez, I have to go with the Dolphins.
But yeah, this was a scary pick for me too, because this is where Belichick does his damage.
Yep.
He's mathematically still alive for the playoffs, but he's well, let's just go wreck everybody else's season.
Yeah, he is good like that.
So you're right. He might put together quite a scheme against Tua. But I do think that they have too many problems. And Miami's really well balanced on all 3 phases of the game. And they're not too dinged up, Miami, right?
No, those injuries that were coming in there.
Parker and those guys are going to play
back. Yeah. So that was the other thing that I was thinking that I bring up, that most of their people that got injured last week, they are coming back. So, and you make a great point. They have good balance. So even if he kind of muzzles Tua or whatever, their defense still can score on their own as well, and special teams will contribute.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game ultimately. I think it'll be a defensive struggle for most of the game, but I think Miami ends up pulling it out at home. But this is one of those things that could easily go the other way, and I wouldn't be shocked. Now for the game of the week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, they got Minshew.
Baltimore gets to run the table now and end up 11-5 because they got no competition the rest of the way. Starting with
and that's what stinks for the Dolphins because they have a tough schedule after New England.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Jaguars. We talked about how they've been a little bit more competitive lately, but it's not going to be a match against the Ravens. Even with Gardner Minshew in there, I think you're right. I think the Ravens are just going to win out, and they're probably going to make the playoffs over some other unfortunate team that tries to. It's just too bad that there's so many teams that trying for those last playoff spots in the AFC.
Yeah. And here's what scares me about that. The Ravens are, I think, going to run the table 11-5. Probably end up with that last seed, right?
Uh-oh.
Play Pittsburgh in the first round and beat the Steelers.
Wow. Oh, right. Because if Pittsburgh was the second seed, they would play them. That would be the highest seed left.
I see it coming.
I see what you're saying. Wow.
I see it coming. Yep. But we're not talking about the playoffs yet. We're talking about week 15.
Right.
And Baltimore, laugher. Really. I mean, come on.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got the Tampa Brady's against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons is another team I would compare to kind of like Carolina, where they're kind of just fading away. And their offense has been inconsistent the whole year. With how many games has Julio Jones even been in there?
Like 4.
Kind of like on and off.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay is solid both. They don't always show it, but they're solid on both offense and defense. And I think they're going to win this one easily, even though it's in Atlanta.
Yeah, Tom Brady's locked in. He sees the playoffs coming. He's, they're tuning up for. They want to go on a run, in the postseason. So, I totally agree with you, Tampa Bay. The Falcons. I mean, let's give Raheem Morris credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
they're 4-3 since bringing him in as coach. So that helps out, but I just think Tampa Bay's they're locked in and. The Falcons just won't be able to hang with them for 60 minutes. It's just right. It's too much clock for the Atlanta Falcons to hang in there. Next up, where is it? Detroit.
At
Tennessee.
How many yards did Henry's rush last week?
Like 240.
Maybe he'll do another 200 this week. Geez. I don't know. What can you say about Detroit?
They're going to get their asses handed.
And Stafford still and Stafford got injured last week too, which may make things worse for them or better. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference whether he's in there or not against the Titans. They seem to have just like kind of after stumbling a little bit in the middle of the season, they kind of found their groove now and. They got that balance going, both rushing and passing. So this should be an easy game for the Titans.
I would think so too. I think as long as they can control the ball on the ground, they're almost unbeatable when they can control the ball on the ground, and that's the formula for success. And Detroit's not going to stop that at all. And if they do happen to, you're right. Lately, Tannehill's got a thing going with Brown.
Yep.
So, yeah. And, Tennessee's also, and granted, it's only about, a week or two now, but their defense has been able to stop that. Remember, they had problems on third down getting off the field.
Yep. They've been getting better.
They've been getting better at that. So, Houston at the Colts.
Yeah, they actually played it, what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And that game could have gone either way, I think. It was like towards the end, I think the Texans just had a turnover late and enabled the Colts to win. But I think it's going to be a little bit different this week. I think the Colts will win easier than last week. I mean, you saw what Chicago did to the Texans last week.
Yeah.
And the Colts, they didn't have their best. Talked about this before, where they didn't have their best defensive player, Buckner, there against the Texans. That'll make a big difference. And they found the running game last week. Jonathan. Is it
Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
They found the running game, and that spells bad news for the Texans defense. So
him and Hines, Naheem Hines is also. They got the two of them. Hines catches the ball more out of the backfield, but they've got the two of them going. And don't forget, I mean, they started the year with can't think of his name now. Started with an M. Got hurt. So they're gonna have next year too. They're gonna have 3 backs. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. But that's next year. No, I'm with you. And it's funny. I was thinking the other night. Tony Dungy was talking about how important Buckner is to that defense and how different they are without him. And I was like, wow, look at that.
It's amazing.
Dungy, right?
It is amazing how in some cases the one player does make a big difference. Because I think what happens when he's not there, the other players have to kind of like fill that gap because no one's going to replace him specifically, and they kind of have to play a little bit like off what they normally do, and that weakens the whole unit.
Yeah, they get gashed.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think the Colts will win pretty handily. They got to keep pace with the Titans.
Yeah,
they want to win the division. You win the division, you get a home game. Yep. Nobody wants to go on the road for the playoffs. So, Colts in a, I don't know, probably 7 to 10 point.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a laugher. I just think that'll be more comfortable than last time.
Yeah. This one, the Beagles and the Cardinals.
Tough. This was one of the tough ones.
This is tough.
Yeah. Both of these teams kind of found something last week that they hadn't had for a while. With Arizona, it was I can't think of his name. Kyler Murray's running came back, and that kind of opened up the offense a little bit more, which they hadn't been doing for the last few weeks since his shoulder injury. And then the Eagles had a shot in the arm with Hurts, bringing in that running dimension, not just like running as he scrambles, but planned runs.
Yeah.
As part of their game plan, and I don't know. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, not confidently, but I think they'll win, because even though the Eagles did great against the Saints, they had some significant injuries. And the 49ers and the Eagles are a lot alike in terms of the injury bug. I think they had a couple. It was they're on the offensive line. And on the secondary, they had some significant injuries in that game, and I don't think they're playing this week. So I'm just going to give the edge to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the cornerback there. He blew his ACL.
Yep.
When he jumped and he came down, he blew his ACL.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
I forgot his name. But yeah, they're really hurting. And I also think it was a nice story last week with Jalen Hurts, but I think it's a completely different story this time. And I think Jalen hurts them this week. Har joke. The Cardinals are desperate. I mean, one more loss, they're probably not getting in.
Yeah.
This is a team that a lot of people, us included, thought had a shot at the division title.
Yeah, I certainly did.
That snowball effect after Murray hurt his shoulder, they lost 3 of 4. And so I think they come back in a big way and put the hurting on the Eagles. And
what their defense did, I mean, not that the Giants are a powerhouse, but what their defense did to the Giants last week. What the heck was that?
God. I think the Giants' offensive line.
I understand that the Giants had a issue, but still, wow. Okay. Yeah.
A normal team would still probably give up 3 or 4 sacks, probably. The Giants, my God.
Yeah.
It looked like the door on the rusty hinge, just like.
It'd be interesting to see if this. I know you told me his name. That got the 5 sacks. We'll get into the Eagles' backfield.
At all, yeah.
I hope I can see this game.
That would be, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be on or not around here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Next.
You're not taking the Jets? Why aren't you taking the Jets?
This will be the shocker of the week for me. Because it's the Rams. I mean, it's not like the Rams have a great imagine like when a mediocre defense stops the Jets. Like last week with the Seahawks, they kind of have a mediocre to good defense, but the Rams have a superb defense. And how are the Jets going to get any points off of this? This may be a shutout, actually.
They went up to Seattle and got beat 40-3. Now they go down to LA to play a team that looks far more balanced than Seattle. And not only that, like you said, they have the number 2 ranked defense in the whole league. And Darnold's not going to play, I don't think, again, right? He's hurt again.
Okay.
So they have Joe Flacco, but that might actually work to their benefit. Flacco's a veteran. You might find a way to get him in the end zone. But come on.
I mean, that being said, it would be typical of an NFL game where we think this, and the Jets kind of stay competitive for like 2 quarters or something like that, where you're like thinking, "Oh my gosh."
Oh, what the heck! I just noticed I missed the game. How could I miss this game?
Which one was that?
Oh, it's the biggest game of the week. I can't believe I didn't make the graphic. I missed it completely.
Was it a late game?
I can make it really fast if we just
early game?
No, we'll skip it and I'll come back to it. I'll make the graphic while we're talking. I'll just skip it. It's a 4:00.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. We'll go to the
I know what you're talking about.
We'll go to the 8:00 game then instead. And then I'll come back. I'll have it ready.
Biggest game. Probably.
We'll go to this one first.
Okay. Well, this was kind of an interesting game. I mean, it would be even more interesting if the Giants didn't show me some really bad.
I know. This is a tough one to pick, though, for me.
It is tough. It is. I'm not saying it's easy to pick. I'm just saying after you saw how dismal the Giants did, and you hope that they don't repeat it again. If it was like a one-time thing, but I saw the whole Browns-Ravens game, and even though they lost, they showed me a lot.
Oh my God!
I didn't realize how good their offensive line really is. I mean, I think part of the difference that where Mayfield's a lot more comfortable this year than previous years has a lot to do with their offensive line. They're really good. I mean, they are part of that big rushing attack, and now he's back there comfortable in the pocket, making those passes and moving around a little bit. I don't know. I guess we've been saying how the Giants' defense has certainly improved, and their offense over the course of the year. But I'm gonna have to go with the Browns. I can't see them losing twice right now in a row, especially against the Giants.
Well, there's so much you can say about the Browns. That game on Monday night was
great.
It was the best game of the year by far.
Yeah, I would say.
And what impressed me the most is the fourth quarter starts. Edson goes out. They're up by 14, and Mayfield drives them down, and they score twice. Right.
Yep.
And then Jackson comes back out of the locker room, and we talked about this last night, whether he had the poops or not. I believe he did. But he comes out of the locker room, and they go and they take the lead. He leads them right down the field. They take the lead, and the Browns don't flinch and come right back.
Yeah, it's like no big deal.
No big deal, and tie the game again. And that's not the Cleveland Browns I remember from the beginning of the year. That's not the Cleveland Browns I remember from most of this. So, they're different. And I think a lot of it has to do with OBJ going bye-bye. Addition by subtraction.
Yep.
And they're believing, and that's the thing. And they know they're this close to clinching a playoff spot. So I'm going Brownies too. Yeah,
the Browns are not, like as you said, the Browns are not the type of team that you see like that. You have 2 minutes left, and they're not like the Saints or the Packers or the Chiefs, or you have like less than 2 minutes left and you're driving down for that last minute comeback. They're not supposed to be that type. They're supposed to be like the kind of long 8-minute drives with a running game mixed in with and I was totally impressed with that. I thought the game was over. I thought, they're not going to come back and score a touchdown, and they did it like with like half the time that they had.
Yeah,
which kind of hurt them in a way. They
left too much time on the clock for Lamar, but I'm with you. I was waiting for Mayfield to throw a pick on the first or second throw. I thought they'd go into that hurry up offense and he'd make a cataclysmic cataclysmic mistake, and he didn't do it. They're different. We got some comments here. Hang on. Let me.
I'm looking forward to watching this game. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what we got here. Are you live on Facebook? No, we only do this to YouTube because it's easier than recording it. So we use YouTube Live to record it. So when we're done, we're done. And then we got Jets. What is the line on the Jets winning at least one game this year? I don't know. I don't know.
Like 125.
Can you look it up and get back to us on that? And again, Con Guy, while you're here, if you're still here, would you like to join us for the playoff shows?
Yeah.
And have they won a game yet? No, Jude. They are 0-12. 13. 0-13.
0-13.
0-13. So let me see.
And I don't see them winning this week. I'm trying. I got to look up the rest of their schedule, which is just 2 games. I mean,
I think they end the year with New England. I think.
Oh, well, that might be probably the best chance they have.
I think I could look it up in a minute.
Yeah, it's Browns in New England. Yep.
Okay. Oh, Browns. Yeah, they're going to lose to the Browns.
They're not going to beat the Browns.
They're not going to win.
I think they have a chance to win, but Belichick.
The last week, Belichick will never let the Jets win.
I know.
He hates the Jets. He'll do anything he can to beat the Jets. He'll put a helmet on and go out there himself if he has to, or send his mulleted kid out there. So the Chiefs and the Saints.
Yeah, this was a difficult one for me too. And I think Breeze is back, right?
Yes, they announced today he will be starting.
So he's like 100%. It's like, geez, it's hard.
I can't see that. He broke 11 ribs.
Or 11 ribs.
11 ribs and punctured his lung 4 weeks ago, and he's 41 years old.
Is this a panic move by Peyton that not lose another one?
Clearly, to me, this says Taysom Hill's been good. They're 8-1 without Drew Brees over the last 2 seasons, but the Chiefs are a whole other beast.
Yeah,
and he's got to have all hands on deck, because if they lose this one, they fall a full game behind. They'll be a game and a half behind the Packers because they lose the tiebreaker
to
Green Bay. So they're in trouble with 2 games to go, right, for that home field, that bye week, which they desperately need with a 41-year-old quarterback with busted ribs. That said, sorry, Sean Payton, you're going to get your ass handed to you.
That said, I still would pick the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and this could be the one game that the Chiefs kind of just don't show up or whatever. But I don't think it will be. I'm still going to go with them.
No, especially now that the Chiefs know they have a 1-game advantage over Pittsburgh. They don't want to use that, because if they end up with the same record as Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker against them. So they have to keep that. I don't see it.
Yeah, the Chiefs are in control of what they're going to do. Yep.
Yeah, so I think it'll be close for a while, but like most of these games with the Chiefs, it's almost like they're just messing around with you. And they give you a little hope, but then they just dagger. I think the only chance is if Tyreek Hill can't play or he gets hurt, or because it's every game.
He goes to him.
They're in trouble. They just get the ball to him in any way, whether they hand it off, dump it off, or throw it deep.
Right. They have schemes for every little thing. Yeah.
He goes nuts and he brings them back. He's like a one-man wrecking crew, that kid. So, and nobody's been able to stop it yet. I don't think the Saints are going to be the team to do it.
No, I don't think so either.
So we're both with the Chiefs on that one. And then that goes to the Monday night clunker.
Hey, at least the Steelers will have a breather this week.
They get an extra day off this week, finally. Yeah. I bet ESPN was so happy they put this one on the books. The Steelers are in a lot of trouble, but not enough trouble to not beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe ESPN was like, "Oh, we have." I can't believe I already can't think of his name, but the Cincinnati quarterback there,
Allen.
No, I was thinking they were hoping to have Burrow.
Joe Burrow
would be an attraction to
That's what it was about, right? to showcase Joe Burrow,
which is why this would be here. And obviously Pittsburgh's a good team, and that would be a good draw. But I kind of,
the best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh shouldn't have much trouble with this game. I mean, the Cowboys kind of walloped the Bengals, for crying out loud. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's the game you kind of pad your stats and look good on Monday night, and you go to 12-2 with 2 to play,
and hope you don't have significant injuries. That's what they need to avoid in this game.
Yeah. I mean, the last time they had a game that looked this easy on paper anyway was the makeup game with the Ravens practice squad, and we lost Bud Dupree for the year in that game.
That's what you don't want to do.
That's what you don't want to do. Yeah. So, all right. So we got a few that are different, enough to make it interesting.
Yep.
61-34. You are 60-35. This is awesome.
I'll be like
right to the
4
wire.
games behind now.
You got to be more confident.
Yeah.
You were way ahead, so you can pull ahead again. You had 2 weeks that you let me back in. We've been running even since.
It's like we always say, that's the NFL, where it's like they do this stuff to you, but you keep coming back because it makes it interesting.
It definitely makes it interesting
when it goes against the obvious thing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that feeling when Christmas time comes around, that pit in your stomach that, like, what am I going to do when football's over? In a couple of weeks, it's over.
Yeah. Literally, like, February is like my worst month of the year because you have, you just the letdown from football, and, obviously baseball is nowhere near anything. But hockey's on, right? Isn't it at that time?
Not yet. They're in training camp, but hopefully.
I mean, in February.
It should be.
Okay.
I mean, normally it's in full swing, and that's what I transition to. But this year, they'll just be getting underway, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and they're going to have all the same problems that baseball and football have. They're not bubbling; they're traveling.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what goes on. I think up until spring, it's just going to be a crapshoot with everything. So.
Yeah, I wonder when they'll have what tiers the sports guys, sports people will have for the vaccine. Like, what tier are they in? Obviously not in the first tier, because that's got to be for the emergency people. But I wonder when they'll have stuff available for them, like, performer, people making the movies and.
I'm thinking lower, for the simple fact that they get tested every day anyway, and they're in such good shape, they bounce right back. It's people that can't.
No, I understand. But I'm sure they'll, sooner or later that those industries will be, pushing each other aside for the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, and they want to get the fans back in the buildings. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll see what happens. But I'm thinking through March it's going to be this way. Okay. Because you already have the NCAA tournament in a bubble. So.
Yep.
And that's in March. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. Anywho, you can find us on the social networks at GeekTime Net, or follow us on GeekTimeNetwork.com, where you can get everything we do in one stop shop. Just like that. It's as simple as, whoops, I thought I clicked that off. It did not go off. All right. Well, week 15. We'll see what happens. I'll be sitting there tomorrow with my little pad going.
It's going to be great.
Ooh. Yeah, it starts tomorrow. 4:20. Yeah, cool. And that first one, Buffalo, Denver, we got different picks.
You had to raise the stakes on that one. Now it's like, now I gotta be riveted for
right off the bat. Yep.
Wow.
All right. So we will be back with our recap of week 15 next week sometime. We also have our Tuesday night stream, Tuesday Night Mayhem. Check that out, 7:00 Eastern time. And a new episode of our radio show dropped just today. You can find that at anywhere you listen to podcasts, Geek Time Radio. So there.
Yeah, check that out.
Chock full of content. People are going to get sick of our voices. I already am.
We're getting sick of our voices.
Exactly. All right. So we will catch you kids on the other side. Enjoy week 15, everyone. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?